Eric Schoenbaechler, he's the coordinator for the adult services over at the West Bloomfield Public Library, and Jill Bickford, she is also the coordinator of youth services over at the library. One of my absolute favorite places to visit. But this has been quite the year. Eric, do you want to kind of kick off the conversation? How have you been doing in your team during this pandemic?
Thank you, and we're excited to be here this morning. So we've been adjusting to to the new reality of library services. It's been really different. We're usually in normal times we're very busy. We have people through all day and all evening. So reopening after a few months of being shut down and having a lot slower traffic has been something that everyone has had to adjust to, not just our staff, but also patrons. Is currently open. We're excited about that. We are still allowing people to come in. We just have cautions in place. Just the building does feel comfortable. And of course, we ask everyone to, limit time, absolutely wear masks, social distance inside the building. So there are a lot of precautions that are in place, but we do want to make sure that people are able to come in and access the collections, because that's the big, most important thing right now is access to our physical collections.
Because I love to go in, like back in the day, and go back by the fireplace, pick out a magazine, but also just scan the titles of the books. And that's how you find these new worlds to escape into. But with that and how it's changed, Eric, I will say I did discover prior to the pandemic the access to ebooks. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that's working on the electronic side, and are people taking advantage of it? Because it's not so easy to actually check out an ebook as well.
Yeah, and ebooks have always been huge for patrons in West Bloomfield, ebooks and all of our e-media. But over the last 10 months, we've really seen it kind of skyrocket in terms of usage because we want to offer our patrons as many formats as possible. So we like to buy titles in print books and books on CD and ebooks and various other things. So ebooks have really, like I said, the usage has skyrocketed. We have thousands and thousands of titles available in ebooks and the audiobooks. We also have 3,600 titles that are available to check out. There's video, there's music, there's all sorts of things that you can use the library for without actually having to come in the building. So that is actually something that we're really encouraging is for West Bloomfield cardholders to take a look at our website and see what is available to everyone without actually having to come into the building if people don't feel comfortable doing that. So again, if you've got a West Bloomfield library card, we really encourage you to check out the website, the e-library page, where you'll find all of our digital resources. And I think that people will really be surprised at how much is there. We've got it for all ages, everyone from babies up to adults and seniors. So there's something for everyone in our e-resources.
So with that, Jill, let's talk a little bit. You're the coordinator of youth services. Mm-hmm. Again, the library was such a great place and a great escape for kids to explore. How has this changed for you and your team during the pandemic?
Right. It was anyone who's been in our youth services room knows that it was built around play, and it was really a destination for families to come and spend a lot of time exploring and learning hands-on in the building. Obviously, we've had to put that on pause for the time being. But like Eric said, we still have lots of materials. So we still have all the books to get into kids' hands. We still have the DVDs for families to have a family movie night. And people can come into the building and browse. We know a lot of families aren't comfortable doing that. So we do have the drive-up window and the curbside service. So they can simply go online and place their holds, or they can call us. A lot of parents will just call us and say, we're not comfortable coming in and browsing. Can you select things? I have a 2-year-old who really likes trucks, and I have a 6-year-old who's just starting to read. Can you just pick some things? And our librarians, who have that expertise, will just put together a package of things for them that they can get at the window or through the curbside. So we're really making sure that we still get reading materials, our traditional purpose of building early literacy for kids into their hands, as well as we're still doing our story times. We're still doing our early literacy programs. We're just doing them remotely. We're doing them via Zoom. And for families that sign up for our story times, it's a 6-week session, and they get a kit that they can check out and take home that has all the props that would be used. So it has a finger puppet. It has the books that we'll be reading in story time. It has the little craft that we would normally do at the end of story time, so that it's still interactive. They can still participate and get that hands-on experience.
So what's the feedback been from the community and from parents?
I would say people are just so thrilled that we're able to offer them some services. As you know, in full shutdown, we had to be completely closed. I want to say it was about 11 weeks, and couldn't really offer anything other than those digital services. So they're extremely happy that they can come in and get the reading materials for their kids. And that feedback has been positive, as well as they're happy that we do have so many ebooks and e-audio for kids as well, so that they can access those remotely. And they love the story times. They love that they can still engage, and that their kids can still see their favorite librarian on a weekly basis, and still have those early learning skills imparted to them that the parents may not really know how to do on their own at home. So the feedback has been very positive, and people are just very appreciative that we've found solutions to continue many of our services in this sort of unusual time.
So I know that the library has always had the drive-through service.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned curbside.
Yes.
How is that working?
So that we decided to do that because we knew that when we first opened, the drive-up might back up. It might be too busy. So we wanted to offer another option, as well as it is completely contactless. We knew some people might even be a little bit uncomfortable with the face-to-face they have at the drive-up. So we have 5 designated spots on the east side of the parking lot. They're numbered. And it's just like, when you go to a store or a restaurant, curbside, you pull into one of those spots. If you have to reserve your materials ahead of time. So you've either spoken to us or done it online, and your materials are ready for you. And you call the number posted there and tell us what your spot you're in, and your name and your library card number. We get the items, we check them out to you. We come, we put them in your trunk, wave hello, and send you on your way.
So Eric, if I could ask you, I know that one of the popular things at the library is those meeting rooms. Are those open to the public right now, or no?
No, not at this point. As you know, we have the large meeting room where we hold our programs. We have a small conference room that is often reserved by book groups. And then we have the small group study rooms. Unfortunately, at this time, none of those are open for usage. We're actually, we hated to do it because we know that people love those rooms. They're always in high demand. And outside of the study rooms, we've got study tables and everything all throughout the building. And we just studying or any long-term usage of the building at this time. So again, when people are able to come in and they are welcome to do so, then it's just for short visits, for browsing the collections and really minimizing time inside the building to things that you can't do outside of the building.
So, but the computer services have been so vital for so many people for so many years, and we're in the middle of a pandemic where technology is critical, really, to connect with other people. Are your computers still available to the public, and if so, how is that operating right now?
Yes, so we are offering computer access to West Bloomfield Library card holders. So people can make reservations to use the computer. They can do that on our website, or they can always give us a call and we can slot them into one of the reservations. So a reservation can be made a day in advance, and people can get up to 45 minutes of computer usage per day. So we have computer appointments every hour. Like I said, they last for up to 45 minutes. And people are able to come in. The scanners are still attached to the computer so they can scan, they can print, they can pretty much do any sort of productivity or work support or learning support that's necessary on the computers. So, and that is available at both the main branch and the West Acres branch. But like I said, they do have to have a West Bloomfield Library card. And then we're happy to go into details if they wanted to check on the website. That's got all of the details for computer usage. And we're also happy to, like I said, if they want to call in to make an appointment, we're always happy to talk to patrons.
So I also think about some of the seniors that maybe aren't so tech savvy. They're having trouble, downloading a book, or they're looking forward to going in to maybe, get on Facebook to visit with their family, and those, utilizing the computers at the library there. So for seniors, have you had to help them navigate this world that we're in right now, and what's that been like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And helping seniors with technology isn't something that is new to the pandemic. That's something that has always been a service that we've offered. In normal times, we have been able to offer more one-on-one assistance, which we miss doing and look forward to getting back to when things go back to a new normal. But time with seniors on the phone, we actually have some great video tutorials on our website. So if seniors do have access to a computer and feel comfortable with that, they can go to our website on the e-library page, and we have video tutorials for basically every e-resource we offer. It shows how to download. If it's an app, it shows how to download the app. It shows the login process, shows how to check out materials and to save them. So the video tutorials are really comprehensive, and they're actually really they're user friendly. They don't get into too much tech jargon, so they're really great for patrons of all ability levels. But yes, we're always happy to help seniors. Unfortunately, at this time, we can't do the one-on-one tutoring like we usually do. But if they want to give us a call, or we do have chat functions online as well where they can contact us, and we will always do our best to help them through whatever service they would like to use.
Jill, if we could toss the conversation back to you for just a moment. Obviously, what would normally be Christmas break, right? But kids are kind of going into a hiatus. Are there any programs or book reading list to keep kids engaged while they're out of school over the winter holiday break?
Absolutely. On our website, we have lots and lots of suggested reading lists for kids based on interest, grade level, and so forth. But this year we're doing something new. Everyone knows libraries do summer reading programs, but this year we've started a winter reading program. So we have, kids can sign up and they get a little kit, and then they fill in, they get stickers, and they get to fill in stickers based on every 30 minutes of reading they do, because we want to make sure that they're still reading. And during this time when they're probably kind of stuck at home and not able to do a lot of the outings that they would normally do during a break, we want to encourage them to read, and to read for fun, to take a break from all that assigned reading they have in school and to just read whatever they want. So people can sign up for that through our website, or call us, or come in, and they can get that kit. And just like with the books and materials, we'll put it in their car, or they can get it at the drive up. And they do that, and they earn little prizes every week that they do 30 minutes of recreational reading. They can earn a little prize, and we have some assorted little prizes. They also earn books. So we have a little book fair set up in the library, and they can come in, and just for signing up, they can select a free book. And then as they do more reading, they earn more books and can earn up to 5 books that they get to keep during this time. So that's something new we're trying, and we're hoping that will help encourage kids to read for fun over this break. And it will run until February 13th. So it's going to go on for most of the winter.
I love that, because I'm a reader, and I think that with these kids, you have to foster reading at a young age. I remember when I was young, every Saturday morning going to the library and getting out my Nancy Drew books and my Hardy Boys books and anything else that I could do. In fact, I will tell you, I used to charge my classmates 5 cents to try to figure out their little mystery notes. Like if someone sent them like, I like you, do you like me, yes or no? I would charge them 5 cents for me to figure it out, because I felt like I read so many Nancy Drew books that I must be a detective, right? But it comes from that love of reading and going to that library every Saturday morning. It was my escape. With kids, what's that competition like right now to try to get them to read versus social media? Because my biggest competition was Saturday morning cartoons.
Right. Right. Same. But yeah, it's mostly for kids in the K-5 range, which is what this reading program is geared to. We're looking at technology. We're looking at playing video games. And we know these kids, many of them, they've been going to class online all day. So it would be really nice to give them a break from screen time, even if that screen time is different from the school, and have them actually holding books, turning pages, and reading. So I would say that, video games, is probably the biggest challenge right now, tearing them away from a screen and getting them to do something different than staring at a screen.
Right, but you get to escape into a million different worlds.
Yes.
If you just pick up a book and read. I know that one of the things that I also loved about the West Bloomfield Library was you would bring in dogs, like therapy dogs,
right,
to help soothe the kids that were nervous about reading.
Yep.
Because reading and reading out loud is not always comfortable. Like I remember, this could be back in the day, and I might be aging myself. I don't know if they still do this, but when you had to read a paragraph out loud in class and you would count ahead to try to read, so that you could, glance over at least the paragraph that you had to read. But one of the great programs you had was to bring in these dogs that helped comfort these kids. Are you worried that kids are going to turn away from reading during this pandemic?
I worry about them turning away from recreational reading. I know that the schools are assigning a lot of reading, but we want to make sure that they're reading for fun and that they're getting to choose their reading materials and that they have the freedom to read without judgment, which is the whole purpose behind the dog program. The dogs just listen, they don't correct. One of the things we've added as part of this winter reading program, and starting in January, we will have online book chats and we did this over the summer too with our summer reading program, where the kids can just tell us about what they read and what books they liked. Because when a child talks about what they've read, it really helps reinforce and build the comprehension and sort of get them more excited about it. So they'll be able to sign up for a time with one of our librarians to just tell them about, what they've read and what they liked. And then the librarian can make suggestions of other things that they might like to sort of keep them interested and see the fun aspect of it. And it's different than a formal book report they have to write it in school. It's just telling someone something really cool about the book, or the character they liked.
I love that. But Eric, if we going back to you, but also like it's a challenge with libraries as well to kind of like be modernized. And one thing I love about the West Bloomfield Library is you have plenty of books and movies and digital formats for people to check out. I will say when I worked in Toledo, that hour and a half drive, every week I would go to the library and check out audiobooks. They were my lifesaver. But Eric, what is the challenge to try to stay on top of the changes and how people absorb information and podcast and now Bluetooth and you can download versus people going to the public library?
Yeah, I think that you hit the nail on the head. It's hard to continue to keep people engaged with reading if you only stick to one format. Traditional books are here to stay. They're not going anywhere despite the increase in ebooks and other media. But everything has to work together in order to give people the options for what work best for them. I'm like you, I don't live close to work, so I have about a 45-minute drive every day. And it would be kind of excruciating without audiobooks. I listen to them in my car every day. So that's what works for me. And we want to make sure that we are finding the options that work for everyone. So it's constantly keeping an eye out on changing technology, not just focusing on the books or on the physical books, but also not forgetting about the physical books, because we know that there are thousands and thousands of people who still want that and love that feeling. But we need to make sure that we are doing our best to cater for everyone. And thus far, we feel pretty comfortable that we're doing that.
Well, I will say, I kind of got away from paper books, like actual books, with my iPad. but it recently died. So I went back into my basement. Anytime I go, like you guys have this amazing, book sale a couple times a year, or other book fairs, this, that, and the other. I'll buy a bunch of books on that last day with the intent of giving them to the homeless. And I have a huge stack that I never actually gave out. And once my iPad died, I was like, oh, I have books in the basement. So it's like I rediscovered the value of that paper book. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we thank you both for being with us here on the Oakland County MegaCast. Again, one of you, do you want to touch on what are the actual hours over there at the library right now?
Sure. So we are open Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m., and Sunday from noon until 5 p.m. And of course, this week we are closed on the 24th and 25th, and next week we're closed on the 31st and 1st.
Well, thank you both for being with us, Eric and Jill, over at the West Bloomfield Public Library. If you have not been to your public library, please go visit them and explore. And while it's a little bit different under COVID, they're still open for your services and to serve you as well.